Hey, good morning. All right. So let's pick up from where we left off. How much of this do we want to make private? I think we need to return the services, or, or we could have the transport server or passed into something that adds the services to it. Oh, I like that idea. Robin Malfay, how are you? How you doing? Let's add something to data archive. Does it need to be async? I don't know. Let's call it something. We'll take a server. And what kind of server was that? That was on a transport server. Oh, whatever's coming back from the builder. Looks like it is a server. It's got this. add our services to the transport server. I think we need to return it. There we go. Oh, we found a router. Well, maybe router should have been passed in. Add routes. So we get a builder back, which is a server. When we call add service, it returns a router. Oh, this will clone the server builder and create a router. And then with router, we call serve. Let's see, where is L here? L router to a layer, maybe? L, here we go. Not entirely sure what L is here. I'd like to think layer, maybe. So that returns a router. So we could just create a service, return it. Router into route. Could just return a future. Go much more generic. So all we want is something that we can add to a futures, well, a collection of futures. Although I would rather get something that we could add to the server builder. What would that look like? Let foobar equals data archive blah. Let's say we're getting something back. We'll have to await. Right. Then we take foobar and we add it here. But is it a service? Is it multiple services? Is it routes? This will clone the server builder. Create a router that will route around different services that were already added to the provided routes. It sounds like it's adding on top of. Not sure. Examples. Hello world, server, client authentication. I want for routing. Server reflection, middleware. Ooh. Oh, that would be awesome. Maybe someday. Okay. Client and server. Dun, dun, dun. Let's look. Source. Ooh, what is multiplex? Let's take a peek. Oh, route guide. Server. And pull route guide for route guide service. Hmm. It's a route guide. Oh, that's a different crate. Interesting. Okay. All right. So riddle me this. Each time it says it's cloning, is it a deep clone or is it a shallow clone? Because that's throwing me off. Owns a server builder and creates a router that will route to different services. Self.clone. And what is clone on this? Devs debug. Ooh, interesting. But not clone. In that case, wait, wait, was I looking at the wrong thing? Server. I was looking at router. Okay, I didn't go far enough up. Interceptor duration. A lot of this looks like all of this. It's copy of values. The service builder. What is that? Okay, it's not there. Oh, it's from Tower. Tower Service Builder. Builder-like interface for composing layers to be applied to a service. Okay. The order in which layers are added impacts how requests are handled. Layers that are added first will be called with the request first. The argument to the service will be last to see the request. Interesting. Spot back. Service builder to our ecosystem. Layer. Hmm. All right. Well, let's. Set the tower layer. All services will be wrapped in. It's a server. So this service builder, we could use it to create a layer that is then added here. So why don't we return a layer then? Let's see, I want a better bit of documentation on Tonic. I want like the high level example. Well, less examples, more architecture. Tokyo, Tonic. Route Guide tutorial provides a complete example of using Tonic and all its features. Oh, is this... Okay. Project setup. Using protocol buffers, yes. To define your service, you specify a named service in your proto file. We've done that. Okay, we have two different proto files that we need to combine. We generate server and client code already. Okay, creating the server. Implementing the service trait. Yep, we've already done that. Running a gRPC server to listen for requests from clients. Implementing the route guide server trait. Now, route guide server. This is because it was our proto. Yes, route guide was our proto. So this is coming from our generated code. Impl route guide. These are the functions. Server state. Okay. Request and response types. Simple RPC, skipping, streaming, yes. I want composition. Starting the server. Add service, serve. Good. That's it. Wait. Oh, that's not enough. I know you support more than this. Creating client. Appendix. Tonic build. No. Okay. Not enough. So if we have our builder, create a new empty builder. What about routes? We could add a service to our routes. A service router. Add service, prepare. I don't think we want that. Tonic. Server. Transport server. Going a little bit in circles here, but starting to pick up little pieces as I as I rotate around it. Or S is a service. Response error. Okay, infallible. Optional service. Interesting. Uh, it captures regardless if it's actually there. We're not doing that there. Let's. Can we? I think maybe we just return our list of services, have them added. And DaVinci, how's it going? Pretty good. Pretty good. I spent yesterday fighting with um some CNC software. It's designing out some boxes with hidden joints. Boxes, well, drawers, really. Sorry, I started thinking about the boxes again. Um, hmm. Yeah, give me just a minute. Let me get rid of this error, then we'll hop into a recap. Oh, I see. Who's this guy? Hey, Museum. I didn't peek this morning, but what were we? What were you working on? Interactive. Ah, Interactive mode. Ooh, exciting. So, Museum, do you use Tonic much? I'm wondering how to compose services. And at the moment, I'm thinking I just return the two different services. You avoid gRPC as much as possible? I understand. So we're going to return two services. Membership and archive service. Well, first, that's absolutely wrong. Reverb data stream server with, I don't know, reverb data stream something. Oh, mutate server. It should be a tuple. Ah, you avoid protobufs. Why is that? I'm kind of curious. I have it backwards. Do I need to run Protalk on every build? I don't. Um, I have my protos built in a separate crate, so they only get rebuilt on, like, when I make changes to the proto files. The protobuf compiler in Rust is an instant way to turn a 3-second build into a 1,000-second build. Oh, wow. Yeah, I had to go out of my way to make that not happen. Oh, and what does this want? Oh, which kind of DB is it? It is a TiKV storage. The GCC crit does the same, where it always rebuilds every C and C++ dependency on every change. Yes, I understand. All right, so now we have our AOU function that does stuff, returns stuff, just lots of stuff. Oh, interesting. That is bizarre. Out of coffee. We're switching to water. All right. So here in main, grab the results. archive services, .0 and .1. Let's call it something like build services. Ooh, errors. Multiple times. Oh no. Replicate server. Yeah, and this is what I was trying to hide. Plus, you really need to do that type of RPC. Sub-process communication view doesn't need network transparency. Got it, got it. Maybe we just box it. Say no. You get blank. You get erased information here. Okay, before we jump into that, let's review. We'll review now. Shield your eyes. We're going to bring up our diagram of what this looks like. All right. This is the iteration. Now, fourth iteration, which has mutated in its own. So maybe it's the fifth or sixth. But we're working on a new stack. This stack is meant to host an application that would live on machines that write to the database and machines that can read from the database. The traffic to the application would pass through a proxy, which knows the state of the databases on the machines, the state of the applications, and where the different machines are by talking to our cluster management. So the proxy does a lot of checking in on things. It knows where to send stuff. When the application writes to the database, the application, using SQLite, would make a mutation to the database or read, right? It can do both. And as it does that, the request passes through our VFS plugin, which then sends the change to data plane sitting on the same machine. The data plane sends the mutation to what we are currently working on, data archive, which will send the data to IGI and to our storage cluster using TiKV. The readers, when they start up, will query the data archive for what data should they have. Like, what data do I need to have? Give me the databases. How many are there? Send me all the things. Once it has synced, it will then start streaming information from data archive. And data archive will be a nice little layer of indirection to the streams inside of IGI. Data archive sends the data to data plane, which then makes the mutations to the SQLite databases. If a reader tries to mutate the database, our VFS will reject the mutation. I think that's pretty much it. It's basically a stack that can host applications and scale out horizontally really well. All right. So going down into the mines, I hope you have your little mining helmets on. We are trying to set up, let's see here, set up some little interface between our main function and what data archive kind of provides at the crate level. I don't want to expose a lot of different types in the public interface. So I'm contemplating stripping the type information from these just by boxing them and returning something that implements something else. So if we did that, we could return an iterator of things that impl. I kind of like that better. And then out here, we could just loop over them, adding services. A vec would be less of a headache with that pesky async keyword. Yeah, and not that expensive. Absolutely. It's done once, set up at one place. As soon as I said the iterator, I thought about the blog post. Let's just do a vector. Vec of box 9. What does Tonic want? Let's take a peek. Service. Something like this, actually. David YK. Good question. Oh, interesting. Interesting idea, Museum. But I think I agree with your previous statement that a vector just works. I think it's a decent thing to have in the interface. And David, let's see. So going back to the architecture diagram here, it's going to flash white. The VFS. So the VFS monitors mutations that are happening to the wall log, the write ahead log. Okay. And then looks for transactions that are happening. When a transaction happens to the wall log, VFS, or SQLite VFS, keeping track of this, knows when a commit has happened or is happening and controls the commit to the database. Okay. It's basically just an interface to the file. So we will take those database pages directly, and at the moment, without changing them, right, no compression, nothing, just get them out of there as quickly as you can, right, using some sort of IPC to send it to data plane, shared memory, something. That's still kind of up in the air. And then send it over the wire to, oh dear, I broke data archive. Then send that over the wire to data archive. I want to keep the computation as light as possible on the mutation machines. I don't want them doing compression and encryption, stuff like that, when they don't have to. And I expect them to be using tunnels that are already encrypted. So we're not going to be doing double encryption. We're just going to do single. So David, I wrote that myself. Yeah. Yep. And the Rust-based SQLite VFS plugin took me 3 to 4 months. Now, it's not complete yet, so we'll see that in the future. Specifically, like right now, it's fairly bare bones, but it loads, it monitors mutations. The application can make changes to a SQLite database through the VFS. The VFS can identify what a transaction is, but we haven't really made it to the left side of this diagram yet. That and making the mutations from data plane to the SQLite database, there are some gaps at the moment. So really we are roughing this out and then moving into kind of refine it. I think part of the pieces missing for making the mutations on the reader is that we are not appending to the wall log yet. We're just making changes to the file. And we are not signaling that sorry, there's a specific way that SQLite manages the location of pages inside of the wall log so that they can be found quickly. And we are not currently changing that information. It's basically a block of shared memory. Yeah, we're not touching that yet. So we'll have to get back to that as well. Okay, to the code. Boxstein. Oh, that's right. We were going to say it's a Boxstein something or other service. We're going to have to fill in all of this, aren't we? So, I am aware that several commercial entities have built similar offerings. Specifically, Fly.io, they have LightFS with their proxy system and whatnot. This is heavily inspired on that, as what I want to build on top of it will not scale for what they have. I want to be able to support, thousands, tens of thousands of databases, and their fuse-based system will not work for what I want. Yeah, to scale that I want. Basically, I want to commoditize industry, certain industry. So, yes. Why pay WordPress $100 a month when you could pay me 20? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or shopping carts? Mm-hmm. So, we'll get there. All right. I'm literally rolling up my sleeves. It's getting a little warm. Box body. So I think we just need these pieces. Okay. Let's say, as for that service trait, it's a tower service which has an impl for box. Oh, I see. Oh, I want to take a peek at that tonic. Hold on, let's do this. Tonic. There. I reused a tab museum. Or was that just loading it from history? I don't know. I used, was it circumflex? service, gRPC service. Opens or reopens the tab. I see. Oh, tower. Goodness. Trade. Service. There we go. Nice. Oh, caret is for history. Percent is tabs. Got it. I was wondering why it was moving the reopened tabs to the end. Oh, in the search. Oh, nice, nice. Okay. Where were we? Oh, box. Boxes of service. One, two, three. Oh, too many. Okay. Let's qualify this as tonic request and same here. Tower service. Missing generics. Or messages of type T. Hmm. The message type would be different for each one of these, wouldn't it? Tonic request. Service request. I do like these errors in line now. It's much better than having them at the top, especially with the little drawn pieces. That is so nice. Value of the associated types error, future, and response in the service must be specified. I admit I was hoping I wouldn't have to specify all of this. Tower. Service ext boxed. So they have a boxed service. Is this what you were talking about? They have this impl for box service? All right. I'll do that and have Rust help me. Mismatch types. Oh, no method on that. Ah, tower's not in scope. All right. See, the server should probably impl into service. So we have two different servers. We have this one and this one. Or are you talking about the combination of the two? See, I was considering that something would get passed in that we could just add them to, right? Or maybe we could return something that is added. I'm thinking the way that Axum does um, its router. It's very composable, and I'm not feeling like this interface is as flexible. Box service. You'll still need the message response error for box service. Custom trait. Coming back here. Let's think about running this maze the other direction. What else could it return other than these two things? Right? We could add a service, anything that impulse service, but it doesn't seem like you can. Well, interesting. Are they just box body? Axum does it by using an erased closure. Wow, look at this. I'm pretty impressed with the line art. This is so much better than it was before. Let's see, associated. Okay, not allowed here. Oh, really? You can't do associated constraints here. Mm. E, U, and E. There's T, U. Consider removing this associated item binding. I'm not seeing an associated item binding. I'm seeing three generic arguments being passed in. Oh, it's because this here should just be that and that. Mismatch types, okay. Oh, they are distinct. Okay. So this is an HTTP request, and I used the wrong one. This is HTTP request. I don't think I have HTTP. Hmm. I think it's just exported there. Yeah. Where's HTTP? Okay, it's there at the top level. Mm, here. Okay, this should be similar. I'm guessing it's the same thing. Ah, now back to main. I feel like we've accomplished so much. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have our server. Server equals server dot. We want to do this for every one of those for service in archive. We're just going to reuse that, the value. Oh, but the type will change. Dun dun dun. The type is a server here. It will be a router after we do add service to it. Oh, Rust. Rust, Rust, Rust. We box it? Let's see. We're going to tonic. I think this is tonic. Tonic. Yeah, tonic transport server. We get a builder, returns self. We add a service. Service returns a router. This router, it's just it just has an add service. Add service is not part of a trait. It's probably identical to the other one. What else returns a router? Add optional service. Add routes. Hmm. Just one moment, please. All right. We're back. What is a routes? Oh, you can add service to routes. Huh. Maybe we should return routes instead. So we can just add services to it. Oh, it takes a service. Helix wrote their own system for drawing those line arts, the line drawings. Wow. Wow. All right, that's impressive. New routes. A service router. Which is an Axum router. Interesting. Going back to service. Where's service? Server. I'm a little conflicted. Wait, does server what implements service? Is this what I think? So we're calling add service, and that's for our services here. So our membership service. Okay, so this is our generated code. Implements that. Got it. Got it. Okay, so coming back here. Do these guys have anything in? Because there's tower service, and there's tonic. Tonic has structs. No, because we're generating the one thing, adding them to a transport server. Okay, so we're adding services from tonic server to the. I'm sorry, did I say tonic? I feel like I'm getting these things mixed up. Tower service, tonic server. Tower service added to tonic server. Got it. Okay. And if we add routes, these routes, create a router with a given routes, which is very similar to here, creates a router with S-type service as the first service. I wonder what the difference is. Creates a new router. Routes new service. Okay. And routes. Wait, routes and router new. Clone self. So it just let's just use a router then. We'll create a new router with our first service. How do you build one? Add service. Debug. Actually, I just want to understand this better. And there's multiple actors in play, some with very similar names: tower, tonic, server, service, right? And that trips me up. I, I, I am missing a few, yes. Okay, but what returns a router? Server, add routes. Oh, shoot. Tonic server uses a tonic router, which builds an Axum router. Oh my god, I just need a diagram of this. Routers, routes, tonic, tower, Axum. Oh yes, yes, yes. Very familiar with Axum. Axum is high level front end for Hyper. Okay, and Tonic is gRPC on top of Axum. Okay. I wonder why they don't, or why they've cordoned this off here. So we can add routes, provided a routes. I want to see that again. So that routes, okay, service. Just it creates a routes. So it's creating a routes for us. And hyper builds on, but routes is only available with the router option. But it's doing it behind the scenes anyways. It's like they're just cutting off a section of their interface even though they use everything, which I don't understand. Maybe it's like prepare or something else is. If you need a router that implements service, but you don't need any state, then it's recommended to call this method before you start serving requests. Okay. I don't know if we need state. Is this all the document? Oh, that's with state. Okay. Okay. So we call prepare and then return it. Let's do that. I like that better. So instead of this, we will return a router. Just what I'll be spending the rest of my day with after the stream. Technically a spindle, but you get the idea. Router equals this one. New is private. We're using the wrong one. We want this one. Tonic. Okay. We ended up in. Hmm. Once you can. So then, your normal HTTP Axum server can serve both gRPC requests and HTTP requests, which is awesome. Okay. And for Tonic, we want the router feature. That's pretty cool. It's a nice stack. It's very flexible. Okay. Right. Tonic transport server router. That's Tonic service routes. Routes. All right. The trait bound. Oh, wow. Box body. This clone here. Name service is not satisfied. Oh. The one in the air at the bottom. Cloning types erased things is a big usability hole in Rust. Oh, what do you mean? Boxstein foo plus clone can't exist. Oh, a trait foo clone. Why? Let me think through that way. So you can't force clone on a dying foo, or you can't require clone as well if it's boxed. Why isn't a trait foo colon clone object safe? Trait objects can only implement one trait. Ah, okay. Yep, fat pointer. I get it now. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So, how does somebody use routes service? And weren't we seeing this already? Here, when we call add service, we pass this through. Source. And that just passes service through here. Box clone service. So yeah, this is the same thing. Okay. Routes. All right, and box service. Let's go here. Box clone service layer. Box clone. Oh my goodness. A clone plus send plus box service so that the VT. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is good. Another day, another learning. Wow. And if I didn't do Rust every day, or, many times a week, like learning these little bits like this just wouldn't happen. Because, I'm not in like a professional environment using Rust. Man, I like Rust. Just a sec. All right, we're back. This is. They actually are just using a monomorphized T. Oh, interesting. Okay, but they need a custom clone trait for it. I do not. Oh, was this because I boxed them too? Hold on. So, because I had boxed them, it didn't implement clone because it was okay. All right, I'm getting it. And then we can add service or other service. Archive service. This does not need to be a vector anymore. Just a. Is it a routes? Is it a router? Is it a. Oops. Oh, that goes away. All right, let's take a peek at that. Oh, okay. Can I? All right. Routes. I did it again. Ah, consume self. Okay. Oh, well, let's just do this. Okay. So we have a router, returning a router. I'm going to take a look at these links. Copy link address. Home service. Interesting. And then they're able to set up the vtable for a service that has clone. I never noticed that, Museum. This is the usual tool. This crate provides a dyne clone trait that can be used in trait objects, and a clone box function that can clone any size or dynamically sized implementation of dyne clone. Naturally. It only has like so many crates, and they're not like, I don't know, stupid little crates that you find in JavaScript, right? Like stupid little, what do you call them in JavaScript? Packages, whatnot. And it's not like is even, right? They're small, but they're useful. They have a tiny purpose. And some much larger. Let's see. Oh, have to go to Chrome to follow that. Follow. All right, done. I kind of wish that docs had a follow. It's probably just bookmark. I don't know. Want a new one? New folder. Crates. Oh, that's a good idea too. Star/watch on GitHub. Do all the things. Okay. So back at this point, where are we? We have our new build services. We return a tonic routes object. And then main. Just call add routes. We forgot to do the optimization bit. Add routes. Oh, the drop down from the start. I have never done that. Wow. Okay. Useful crates. Hmm. 3 years. Yeah. Never seen it. All right. Here we go. We have our routes. Does everything build? No. Oh, that's in there twice. That can go away. Dead code. Yep. Okay. Just checking. I want fewer warnings. The unused imports. Usually a good one. Oh, wait. I can do %C unused imports. Look at that. How do we open? Let's see. Helix. Open last. Open last fuzzy picker. Really? It's just single quote? Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's the button. Oh, I have to hit space first. Okay. Oh, nice. We'll leave that one. Inactive code, dead code, unreachable code, static mutable references. Okay. Shh. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. All right. So, where to? We've cleaned up the main function. Hmm. You have to provide a display. Hmm. CLI snafu is never constructed? That's right, we got rid of those. Okay. Private interfaces. Hmm. Type task stop reason. Yeah. I think I'll leave that. I don't think this is actually useful. Only useful to a certain point. Might need two different errors, one for internal, one not. Okay. Oof. What happened? We just did like a ton of stuff. Are the tests looking? There we go. Test. good. And data plane. It's still using foundations. Oh, the paragraph mark? Yeah. Oh, everything's using it except for data archive. Yes, expect a stream soon where what we do is spend time just converting to that instead of foundations. All right, good. Those tests pass. See, I don't think we want these. Oh, that can go away. That was just a test. This one though, this was for running Iggy, wasn't it? Let's leave that alone for a moment. That goes, that goes. Let's go have some fun. We're going to rip stuff out here. Bye bye now. Bye bye. Data archive. Okay, that's gone. Oh, and slog is gone. No more slog. Oh, this is cluster management. I don't want to fix it right now. Cargo modules. Git UI is a tool that another streamer made a while back. Just command line, you know, rich interface to Git. It's not Git hyphen UI, just Git UI. This guy here. Sometimes I'm a bit sloppy with Git. Okay, let's be frank. More frequently than I would like to admit. Um, no, I don't want to be in cluster management. DB checksum uses it? Oh, the logging goes away. Oh, let's see, I messed up. Failed to parse manifest at data plane. Examples. Proxy. Basically all the things. Yeah. All right. Where shall we start? First error. DB checksum. I wonder. Maybe put that here. Oh, yes, yes. I was thinking that maybe it should have been inside the thing that was being called instead of where it was. That's pretty cool. Huh. Well, Surprised Helix putting up with me. Oh, it's a good thing to run in CI if some stability is your goal. That's pretty cool. That's worth. Let's see, copy link address. All right. Now we go to the repository. Star that. Useful crates. Boom. And where was the last one? This one. Oh, right, right. We need to replace this with the other one. And what was it? It was in replicate, traced test. That's what it was. Add fields. slog. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. How do we do this with tracing? We want certain fields to be available. Let's take a peek. Notable examples of don't care about Sember Saturday. Yeah. You know what? We'll do tracing. Percent tracing. So we can add information to a span, if I remember correctly. Span enter. Can we, am I thinking about something else? Oh, recording fields. Okay, so you can on a span. They're at the end though. Whereas with the logging, they're at the beginning. Yeah. Um, so we need a span. Sync databases. Span. Expected expression. Hmm. Hmm. We give it a name. And we need to keep the span alive too, right? We need to hold on to that reference. Hmm. What attribute generates for you? No. I do this here instead of here with the annotation because I want to include the additional fields. Oh, no, I don't need to because that's the span. It's called sync data. Okay. So with slog, because the tracing, sorry, that's not right. With slog, because the test code ends up using some of the same code, I needed a way to differentiate between this code below being called from sync databases or being called from the test code. So by having the span here, we can tell that it's being called there, which means that We can use instrument. Where's the top level? It's this guy. Okay. Pound instrument. So we could use that instead of this. Oh, it's going to document the parameters, but I don't think I really care. Let's see. Target trace. I might want to provide that. Skip all, I think, is appropriate here. Yeah, I think in this case, those parameters don't matter. All right. Yeah, what was it? Skip. If we just wanted to rename it. Skip all with fields. Okay, and this one we want db path equals relative db path. 1, 2. Ah, it doesn't implement value, of course. Um, we actually, Okay, the data is actually here. After we pass that through this function, convert it to a string. Unused variable. Fine, it was only used for the logging. Ah, look at that. So we have error. Is it percent for display? Done. Same thing here. Error is status toString. Okay. That's just going to be the display of that, isn't it? Hmm. Not what I was trying to do. Over here. Now, Foundations has this ability to apply the tracing and logging to a future. So we want to make sure we have the same thing happening with our spawns. Did we do that with each one of these? There's like 4 different spawns in here. Not that one, unless it's down below. Hmm. Tracing futures. Yeah, with subscriber allows tracing subscriber to be attached to a future sync stream executor. There's a piece in the documentation that is critical with this, though. Where is it? Oh, it's part of tracing by default. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yep. Then I was thinking about something on this page, which I didn't find on the other page. Here. The drop card returned by span enter across waypoints will result in incorrect traces, which is what I just did. I just did that, I think. If I remember correctly, when I was using this a couple years ago, it would actually crash. Yeah, span in scope. That's what I'm thinking. Instrument on span. Okay. Well, let's search for this because I'm pretty sure I just did that. Did I not? Hmm. Not seeing it. Oh, we replaced it with the instrument annotation. That's right. Let's go to the next error. Telemetry init error. This will be, oops, way too much. Come on, VT curly bracket. Ah. Now let's remember that just is wire. Oh, is that not in data plane? Data plane. All right. Now we have fire, CLI takes a settings, does not take this, takes a service info, if I remember correctly, but it needs args and settings. Fig, rather. We don't have to do that. It exists. Ah, yes, and we need the right types on settings. What else do we have? Initialize telemetry. That's done at that point. All this goes away. Okay. Settings no longer takes that. Yes, we had to implement our own default for this one. And what was it? It was document. And that's from Doku. And that was deserialized. Hmm. We really wish standard derived default did a default equals expert. Yes. That would be nice. Import, import. Okay, telemetry settings. This changes. Fire. Telemetry. Telemetry settings. Now, I don't think that we need default on this, but what we do need is the example from document. And was it? Oh, Doku example equals blah. That there. Okay. I think we can get rid of this now. Oh, env prefix. Okay. Okay. We no longer need to do the dry run check. Uh, this comes from a config. We have some logging changes. Yeah. Well, path buff doesn't implement display. Oh, question mark? Um, Oops, too far. Um, yeah, that's done. Notes. Here we go. Hmm. Here's never used. Bye bye. I use that for testing. Did I not add? Oh, I didn't add Doku. See config proxy Doku. They have different types that they can load. Basically, types that they've wrapped in order for them to be loaded from a config file. On settings and default. Can we just use standard net IP adder? Yeah, it has deserialized, right? Okay, let's add the defaults. Wonder how it's going to do the app discovery. That'll be interesting. One or the other. I was wondering if that was a Rust joke. Yeah. While traveling there, I finally learned how to drive around the corners. It was a massive learning curve. Oh, ouch. That's good. I wonder how I give an example of one of those, given that it's like that. Anyhow, these are out of order from above. Let's fix that. Service discovery frequency. Let's. I'll probably want a liveness check as well. Haven't added that yet. All right. Do we not have tracing and proxy? Proxy. Is this? That's right. There was this really funky thing with Pingora where you don't end up starting it inside of uh, Tokyo main. I saw in the newspaper that some people are considering preserving their brains in jars. It's truly mind-boggling. All right, where's I was reading a bunch of these to the kids the other day. The new ones, they've gotten much better at ignoring me. Some, though, some broke through the shell. Why is J grammatically correct? I don't know why. Because I isn't. Was in a hurry while cooking. The recipe said, use some herbs. Aghast, I mumbled to myself, there is no time. First time I heard that joke, it was a video game. Um, it's like a dungeon crawler video game. I don't remember what it was, but it must have been 30 years ago. On my way home, I asked my wife if I should pick up fish and chips on the way home. She angrily sighed at me. I can tell, but she regrets letting me name the kids. Yeah, add that to the list. Okay. What gets more wet the more it dries? I don't know what. A dishcloth. Well, yeah. All right, capture that. See, I think this whole thing goes away. Problem is that we need buyer to be inside of this in order to start it. Because Pingora manages its own. Garden path sentence. Favorite type of sentences? What? Hmm. Hmm. The reader is lured into a parse that turns out to be a dead end or yields a clearly unintended meaning. This is a common example that has been subject to the psycholinguistic research. See, I can't parse this. The old man on the boat. It just feels like an incorrect sentence to me. Yeah, the time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. Suggesting a complete parse. Less obvious complete parse. Okay. Uh, noun, verb. Oh man, yes, as you were saying, the older people manned the boat. The old. Oh, the old man the boat. Oh, yeah. I can't at the moment. My brain is already, frying with rust. Okay, I remember this taking me forever, and I don't know if this is going to actually work. So we have a local set. Basically, we spawn a thread. Why do we spawn a thread? Then we block on whatever's going on there. We have a join handle? We don't. Okay. Why do we even spawn the thread? Figure Pingora, which is gymnastics in itself. It's actually not that bad, but it just looks like gymnastics. You have these background services that get created. Load balancers. Right? Run forever. Yeah. And if you start it inside of a Tokyo, it doesn't like that. Okay. Telemetry local. Let's get rid of that. It's testing. Oops. I think I deleted too much. We want that to be in here. Funny. What's the point of logging something before the telemetry was actually set up? Did I have... Hmm. Maybe slog was set up? Telemetry driver. Lock on, unwrap. Now, that's not async, but it holds things that need to persist. Runtime, that's our Tokyo runtime. Yeah, I get that it's not. I don't know why I was doing it that way. Runs a feature to completion on the provided runtime. Runtime, this runs a given feature on the runtime blocking. Okay, so why do we need the runtime to also block on something? We don't. Was it? Gonna undo a little bit. So we have this driver that needed to persist for our telemetry. I don't know how this is going to work across Tokyo runtimes. Okay, still on release 4. I think maybe searching for runtime. Or runtime. Yeah, multiple runtimes get created. Okay. What's the opposite of a croissant? I don't know. What's the opposite? A happy uncle. Oh. I see. So, what's the opposite of a croissant? Got it. I get it now. Okay, so I don't think that we need to spawn a thread for this. Unless that's to isolate the Tokyo runtime for some reason. Let's just comment it out for a moment. So we have the CLI here. CLI is then used down below. I don't know how it was getting back to this point before, because if we undo, uh, yeah, before all this, telemetry. Oh, the config was outside. Okay, it was just the telemetry bits that were inside. Okay. New current thread, local set, boom, boom. How do we get? Hmm. Let's rename this to telemetry runtime. Local set. Okay. Let's parlez-vous, please. Yes. Well, I didn't know what the punchline was. If I would have known what the punchline was, I would have gone full American on that. When you're on the run from the authorities, don't make the mistake of purchasing graph paper. You need to stay off the grid. Hold on, I need to send that to somebody real quick. Why is drinking lemonade on Monday so important to the French? I don't know why. Because it's lemonade. Lemonade. No. Uh, I feel like we just broke everything. Yeah, it's good. Well, if I do this, then that, if I go into run forever, I mean, we could just not return. But I'm actually using that to bail, right? I recently found out that kills. No, I can't speak. All right, take two. I recently found out that cows kill more people than sharks. I didn't know that cows hunted sharks. Data plane. Yeah, see, this is where we have the task. We spawn a task. So, what is the equivalent of this? Dot, dot. Let's go back to, not that. It's in futures. Snafu. Oh, it's in tracing, of course. Goodness. Instrument, and you give it a span. Hmm. Task. We just want the join handle. Let's see. This should be self dot. Oh, let's try self again. Self dot new database sync. New database sync dot sync databases. It's in here somewhere. Anything else? Rescue rescue crews were shocked to discover a man sleeping on Mount Everest. They found Himalayan there. Oh, badunch. A little slow on the jokes today. The sheep were plotting to leave their paddock without getting caught. We could pull the wool over the shepherd's eyes, one bleated. Another replied, Bah! All we need is an scapegoat. All right. Sorry, I need to focus for a minute. I have to run. That's the future. Oh, it's a trait. Okay. Love it. Missing, let's see, one, two, three. What's this? Tracing, spent, failed to resolve. Oh, Almost there. And who knows if it all works. That'll be interesting. Okay, let's remove. What is this? Status stream. I feel like it's doing too much. Like this span will just live forever. Adjust that when we see it. All right, not bad. All right, y'all. I gotta get going. Probably did too much today. Learned a lot. Box clone. What else? Yeah, so I kept kind of conflating tracing, not tracing, oh goodness, tracing, tonic, and tower. Tracing wasn't one of them, but I said it anyways. What else did we learn? Oh, I got more people showing up. I gotta go. Let's see. Who shall we raid today? Somebody's learning Rust. They're on day 14. Ah, let's go with Brock, though. There it goes. Okay. Well, thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. We made some progress, got a little further. Suspect we'll be back much deeper into data archive here now that we have tracing set up. The whole reason we created bar was to get tracing and OTLP. So we can get back to it. Until next time, y'all. Bye bye.